Good morning. Oh, my blister on the back of my foot's getting so bad. I really need to remember to get some blister plasters. It's very, very interesting, isn't it? Thought you might want to hear the birds. I guess they're in these trees. It's very cold. It's very cold. It's very nice and clear. So today's adventure, I don't know if I'm going to take you on the whole of it because I think it might be quite dull. I'm taking you on our familiar walk. But I'm actually on my way to the car auction. Now, I'll tell you a bit about this. So in the summer when I had COVID, I don't know. So basically, the two or three times I've had COVID, like I've had this whole thing where like it's made me feel loads better when I sort of, I don't know, at some point during the time of having COVID, I feel like better. I guess my immune system just kicks in, and then and then I feel terrible, and it sort of, it made me feel very ill for a few months. But during the time that I was in COVID and stuck inside the house in the summer, I ended up discovering, because I wanted to buy a car because it's very different to where I lived in London. You know, it's like, as you can see, you know, like there's nothing really around here. And it's quite hard to get about without a car. It's not impossible, and it's not like I really go anywhere, but I feel like if I had a car that I would go more places. So anyway, I discovered this car auction which sells cars that have been like seized or removed for some reason from people, like they haven't paid their road tax or something like that. You know, I don't know, I guess you have road tax. We have road tax here. So you have to, if you don't pay it, your car can be seized from you. Anyway, they sell these cars, but you know, I was just looking for like a really, really cheap car, because obviously I don't have very much money. I'm not working, etc. But I didn't go to the car auction. It's like a virtual car auction. But I saw this kind of like very cheap little car, runabout car. You know, it was going for a few £100. So I thought, fuck it. I put a bid on it. I got outbid. But the thing about me is, you know, I have got some poor impulse control, and at the same time in the car auction there was I don't know if you have these cars there, but it's called an Audi TT Roadster, which is like a little 2-seater sports car, and I just got really like carried away. This is why I don't like ever gamble, because I do have a bit of a bad personality in that sense, you know, like very risk averse, but also at times just like out for the thrills, and there aren't many thrills, are there, in all of this? So I ended up putting a bid on this car, and I was like, oh, it's so cheap. It was like £800, so I guess that probably equates to, I don't know, like $800. and I was like, wow, I won. And I was like, like I'd never seen this car. I had to just go and pick it up that day. And yeah, so basically since I bought that car in August, I've driven it 3 times. Now, it is lovely to drive. It's got a big engine. In the summer it's got a soft top. So, all of that. It's but it needed like some work doing, so that cost money. Needed new tyres, so that cost money. So it's the UK, right? It's not sunny that often, so it turns out that its roof leaks when it rains, and it leaks a lot. So basically, Nigel, as they called the car, there are specific reasons why I called it Nigel, but I just can't be bothered to go into them now. Nigel, it's the bus stop, so I'm actually going to get the bus today. So I don't know how that'll go. That might be a bit of a boring ride for you, but maybe I'll switch off and then switch back on again when I get nearer the car auction, because it's still another 20 minutes walk after I get the bus. But yeah, Nigel's a total money pit basically, and so I've been trying to sell Nigel since then. And the insurance on a sports car, insurance turns out I haven't had a car for like 15 years. Car insurance wasn't really expensive when I last had a car. It is now. Car insurance was over £1,000, and the road tax and all of that was expensive. So basically I've driven Nigel like 3 times. He's cost me about £2,500 that I couldn't afford, and then I tried to sell him on eBay, and nobody wanted him. So he's just sat there under a cover basically. Right, I'm going to get on the bus, so hang on a minute. Oh. Hello. A freedom pass. So disabled person's pass.
Right, yeah. Might not be
What?
you're only working from half 9.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm not normally up it. Let me get another card. So can I pay with just a normal card? Yeah. Hang on. Sorry. Do you wanna go past?
No, that's alright.
Right. I didn't know. Yeah. Sorry about that. I was getting on the bus, and I have like a disability bus pass. Apparently you can't use it until 9:30 in the morning. Oh, busy. Anyway, I don't know how coherent this walk's going to be, because I don't know where I'm going, and I have to look. I have to keep looking at the map on my phone. Also, it's really, really frigging cold, and I think I left my gloves in Manchester, which was foolish. I don't know if you can see, it's all frosty on the grass. I mean, I know some of you are living in much colder conditions. Oh goodness. I start these missions, and then I start to realise that I'm just really, really, really tired. And maybe it's all a bit too much. Also, I'm slightly confused as to whether I took my dose of meds this morning. If I don't pay attention, sometimes I forget, and then I do have a system so I can tell whether they, I've taken them out of the packet, but I just completely couldn't remember whether I'd taken it out of the packet or not, and it was gone. But sometimes I leave old packets lying around because I'm an idiot. Anyway, I just wanted to show you this. Look where we are. This is where I'm walking down Hamilton Road. Is it a sign? Is it a sign? I was about to say. It's literally a sign. It is a sign. But anyway, to go back to my story about Nigel. So Nigel turned out to be a complete duffer, and I've kind of lost all confidence in him. So I won't drive him. So even on like a day like today, where it's a beautiful blue sky, and I could have the top down, and he's got a lovely fancy sound system and all of that. I could be, I don't know, listening to some music and driving wherever. Even though that's the situation, I don't trust him anymore because he's been very erratic. So I just want to sell him, but I can't. And then the next, so now I don't have a car, and I've got Nigel, but he just sits on my parents' driveway under a cover. He's had to be, he went mouldy inside, so he's had to be like dried out by a heater. So I'm hoping that in the summer, when the summer comes, or when in another couple of months, somebody will want to buy him, because it's a bit more appealing thinking about buying a soft top car in the summer, as I found out to my own detriment, than it is in the winter. So I'm hoping somebody will take him off my hands. I've cancelled his insurance, so if he gets stolen, that's it, no payout. But also, yeah, it's saving me a lot of money. Because basically I wasted like 500 quid that I could barely afford on. Oh, it's just been, I don't know. Just as somebody said to me before, it's hard to make cognitive decisions with cognitive problems. And I think that's very true. And Nigel is a classic example of that for me, not life and death. So it's an interesting building. I think I'm very wary of people thinking I'm filming them. It's not a life or death decision, an expensive decision. So, I said I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to buy another car from the car auction, because what a silly idea when but alas, sometimes I find my fingers slipping towards the car auction. On the website, you can look at the cars online from Monday to Wednesday morning, and then the auction closes at 10:30 on a Wednesday. And actually, you can go and look at the cars on a Wednesday morning between 8 a.m. and 10:30 when the car auction closes. So this time, because last night I saw a car that one of the cars that I've been looking at, and it seemed like a very reasonable price. Seemed, quote unquote, a very reasonable price. And I've got to admit, look, here it is again. I've just got to look at the map, hang on. Apparently, when I go and look at a different app, it stops me recording, so I'll have to do a bit of video editing. Fascinating stuff. this is actually quite fascinating. If you're a massive nerd, which turns out I can be. Oh goodness me, it's freezing. My hands are freezing. Can't believe I left my beautiful gloves in Manchester. That's why I should never go anywhere. So this area is called Basford. Look at this. That's like my favourite colour. Oh my god. I would love to live in this house. Look, it's got a beautiful pink door and it's teal. Yeah, so this is Basford. It's kind of traditionally not like a particularly good area. It's very, it's very heavily, well it was when I lived here, you know, as a kid and a teenager, it was very sort of heavily populated by Indian and Pakistani immigrants, and that doesn't make it not a very good area. But unfortunately, first generation immigrants particularly don't tend to, get this sort of economic opportunities that other people do. But then, I guess, areas build up with particular cultures of people living in them. So, but also, I guess it's also probably quite when I lived here, it was also kind of quite I suppose affordable area for young professionals to live in. So I don't know what this building is. It probably would have been a church hall or a boys club or something, but as you can see now, it's a mosque, although its letters have all fallen off. So there'll probably be quite a few mosques around here, old buildings converted into mosques. So look at this, look how many bins this person's got. I only get like one small bin. How is that fair? It doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes any sense. But the houses are all these like kind of pretty big, I guess they're Victorian era houses. Nice inside, nice solid houses. They've got a nice set of doorways. There's probably like a kind of tunnel that runs between those two houses into the backyard. Right, I'm gonna have another check in a minute where I'm going. I think I'm just. Do you guys have ice cream vans? That's a very, very traditional British thing. Also, so basically they drive around selling ice cream, like specially whipped up ice cream, but also quite often ice cream vans, I didn't discover this until later on in my life, can be the site of people, actually used to sell drugs and stuff, etc. It's not always as it seems. So it's like a very, very sort of traditional English kind of old road that. I don't know if anyone watches English soap operas, but I suppose that would be very like Coronation Street. So anyway, I'm off to the car auction because I saw this car, and I'm gonna tell you now. Never tell my dad, who obviously has instilled me with complete shame about doing anything stupid. I saw this car and I was like, oh fuck, they've got that car that I want and it's really cheap. So I put in a bid on it, and I was like, I can't believe you're doing this again. You're a fucking idiot. Look what happened with Nigel. You know, it's just like an absolute money pit. But once I've done it, I've done it. You can't take the bid back. It's an auction. So, so we woke up this morning. I was a bit like, I didn't get a lot of sleep again last night. I woke up. I set my alarm because I wouldn't have woken up. And I was like, oh God, what have I done? And I looked, and I'd been outbid by £20. So somebody else obviously wants this other car. But yeah, so I decided this time I'm not going to be an idiot, or maybe I'll be a tiny bit less of an idiot, and I will actually go to the car auction between 8 a.m. and 10:30 and look at the car. Not that I'm any expert in cars whatsoever, so, and I don't even know if they let you turn the car on. They definitely won't let you drive it. Yeah, I'm going to look at the car and I'm going to see, at least see it. But the big question is, it's like school with this kind of cool tower. I think it's a school. It would have been a school anyway in the olden days. Oh my God, my hands are so cold. Right, I'm going to pause you a second so I can look at where I'm going. I'm back. Yeah, so it is a school. It's quite a big school actually. It goes all the way back there. Yeah, so don't know anything about cars really, but and obviously someone else is out for the car because they've outbid me at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, who's awake on a car auction at 4 o'clock in the morning? Only another person with insomnia, I guess, or someone who really, really wants that car. So off I go to the car auction. The car auction is actually like in this amazing building. The cars are outside, unfortunately, but yeah, it's in this amazing building, which would have been a factory, obviously. Yeah, the UK cities like Nottingham, full of factories. In the old days, Nottingham's really famous for making lace, and not in factories, but in like that's its kind of original industry, lace. And then I guess people would have been having factories with all sorts of things, but there's not very much industry that happens here anymore. It's cheaper to get things made in China, so I guess that's made lots of people lose their jobs. Although I guess now the people who worked in factories now work in frigging Amazon packing warehouses, which by all accounts is like pretty much the worst job out there, probably like much worse than working in a factory. Oh, my hands, look at them, look how red and cold and sore they are. I'm just gonna have to buy myself a new pair of gloves today, and try and get Claire to send me my gloves back, but she's always too busy to do anything, so I don't know if I'm going to get to see those gloves again. And they were really nice, like all with like wool inside. Right, we are looking for a street called Fisher Street, which we're going to go down. Yeah. Oh, so cold. So cold. It wasn't that cold yesterday. But it's fucking cold. It's clear, isn't it? Beautiful. Oh, look, here's the tram. Can you hear it? There we go. That's very exciting. And here's the tram tracks. Right, we're looking for a road called Fisher Road. It's not this one. So we'll follow the tram and hopefully get to the right place. Whoa, my hands. Yeah, so now this is a new thing. This is a pretty new thing. Like we have like this would have been like a factory or some kind of warehouse, but it's a church, Winners Chapel International. There's been a lot of influx of, I guess, a different kind of Christianity from the kind of Christianity that has traditionally been. Okay, so there's the auction house over there. Can you see? Like, what an amazing building. You can't really see it fully, but that's where it is. That's where we're going. I know this because this is where I came to pick Nigel up after I'd foolishly bought him. That guy stopped. I don't know if you saw that. That guy stopped to let me across, and then he threw me a dirty look for crossing the road. Anyway, whatever. People can be very grumpy in the morning, can't they? Yeah. So look, this looks like a really nice pub. Like, this is the sort of thing that, like, I feel really sad that, like, I don't know, like maybe I'm never going to be able to have a drink again, which is silly, but like, just to go into the Lion, it looks really nice. The Good Beer Guide 2025. I don't like beer, so who cares? But fine ale, cider, and food. I'd love a pint of cider and some nice. Nothing nicer than in the summer having a pint of cider and just a bowl of chips. Oh, what you call fries, but they're not fries because they're chunky, and yeah, that would just do me night. Just those kind of things. I just think, oh my god, yeah, like how amazing. Anyway, we're here at the auction place, so we're going to look at the car and try and make a slightly more informed decision than last time. Not, obviously the other person might want to just take it, and I've got to put a limit. I don't want to do what I did last time and end up paying more money than the car's worth. And that's the thing. You just can't really tell. You can't really tell what it's worth. Anyway, here we are. Look at this building. It's just crazy beautiful. I'm gonna try and find out how I see a car. I'll be back. Well, it's been quite a break since I started this video. It's now 10:30, I think. So the sun is quite high up in the sky. It's still really cold, but it's a lovely day. I went to the car auction. I would have liked to shown you all of that bit because it's interesting for me anyway. I went to the car auction. I got to actually, turn the car on, sit in the car, check things out on the car, like all of these things that like I'm kind of learning what to do with looking at a car. Yeah, I mean, it's quite amazing to think that I'm doing stuff like that after, where I was even a few months ago. but yeah, but anyway, but I got outbid. I just been to the doctor's for an appointment, and it's really interesting to kind of notice myself. I don't know, maybe my impulse control has got a lot worse since being in benzos, being in withdrawal, because I set myself like a hard line of like what I was going to, what my maximum bid was going to be, and of course I exceeded it. Couldn't bear it because there was somebody I could see was like directly bidding against me. Every time I'd add £20, they'd add £20. But look, and it was coming to the last like 30 seconds of the auction, so I just like put my phone in my bag and was just like, leave it. And then I had to go in and see the doctor, and I just came out, and I was winning when I went into the doctor. Look at this person's gates. That's very unusual. They're very pretty. Yeah, so I've got a nice big massive wind chime. I don't know if you can see that. Nice. Yeah, anyway, I just looked at my emails and I didn't win. But I feel okay about it. It's like, in the grand scheme of everything else that's going on in my life and other people's lives, it's really not a big deal, is it? It's really not a big deal at all. But I guess, of course, like, it's very hard to feel excited about anything, isn't it? In all of this, I mean, it's a lot of the time it's just feeling terrified, never mind feeling excited. But yeah, that kind of anhedonic thing, it's just, I guess there's a part of me that's still like seeking the buzz of like winning the auction, and I do need a car, so that is a thing. But yeah, I'm doing things, and I'm getting out, and yeah, I guess taking my symptoms with me, and yeah, I didn't win the car, but it's okay. I feel fine about it, and I've learned now that you can go to the auction, that you can switch the cars on, that you can, I know how to look in the engine now, and what more like what you need to look for, and how to check the tyre tread, and all of these things that I didn't know, or I didn't remember anyway. All these little things that you need to look at when you're buying a used car. Sorry, this is very boring, but this is my life. It's nice and sparkly in the park today. So yeah, but like, I went to the doctor and I told her I didn't tell her I was doing a carnivore diet. I told her I was doing a ketogenic diet, and I was telling her about what's been good about that, but also like, yeah, she was like, you're very skinny. She's not a very professional doctor. She's like, you look like you could use some donuts. I would love a donut. I would really dearly love a donut. But yeah, so didn't really come. She's never any help. She loves a good chat, but like, she's never actually any help with anything. So I don't know. Yeah, basically, I am getting really skinny though, and now I'm starting to have to wear my like little children's clothes again, which it was really a sort of point of happiness for me when I stopped having to wear kids' clothes and started to be able to wear like grown-up clothes again. So to have to go back into wearing the kids' clothes again is a little bit disappointing and worrying. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm like on the point of death. But well, hang on 2 seconds. Hi. The hospital. Wait, do you want the A&E hospital or the city hospital? Oh, hang on. Can you? Oh, yeah. So basically, if you go down to the end of this road and you turn, I'm just trying to think what you want to do is you actually want to turn around. It's off one of the side roads. Just bear with me 2 seconds. It's really annoying that you can't do other things on your phone and video at the same time, because it's nice to have these little interactions recorded. Basically, I just stopped because they wanted some directions somewhere, and I had a bit of a brain fart. I knew where it was, but I couldn't remember how to tell them how to get there without looking at a map. So anyway, it's nice when people kind of don't see that you're not a normal human being. They just, I don't know, it's nice to pretend to be a normal human being doing normal things. I suppose I've done a lot of normal things this morning. Go to the car auction, give someone directions, go for a walk. I'm very lucky, really. I might be very skinny, but I'm very lucky. So yeah, but I'm still not sleeping. My sleep is not good. I think probably got like 4 hours or something last night. So yeah, it's all right, but then I tend to kind of get to this point of the day and then I start to feel really tired. So things like, I don't know, cleaning the house or just putting stuff away or whatever, it just all feels a bit beyond me. I mean, nobody had it on their tombstone, did they? She had a really messy house, so who cares? But I suppose I find it a bit calmer if things are a bit less cluttered. And sleep's good for our brains, isn't it? Just like food is good for our brains. Anyway, yeah, I was going to say something then and I've completely forgotten because my brain isn't working properly. Yeah, that's the other thing, I guess, because you guys are 5 hours or more behind me. It's a bit hard because obviously when people are starting to have their conversations, chats, it's already quite late in the evening for me often, and I've got to, if I'm going to carry on getting up in the morning and doing things and going for a walk and trying to I don't know, get my sleep cycle a bit more sorted, and I don't know if this stuff's all just freaking pie in the sky though, do I? I mean, it's all very well, but I've still got to taper off this benzo, and pretty sure that's gonna kind of, well, I suppose I am afraid that it's going to ruin all of these things. I don't, it doesn't have to. I guess there's no guarantees that everything's going to go to shit, but yeah, I don't know. But let's just keep it in today anyway. So yeah, I guess it's tough because it is probably good. as an animal, which I am, you know, to be it's Green Bin Day. It's Green Bin Day today. I know you'll be pleased to know that I remembered to put my bin out last night. Didn't have a lot of things in it, but you know, nonetheless, I remembered to put it out. So yeah, it's pretty much the highlight of the week, isn't it? Bin Day. My sister sent me a message this morning saying, I just heard the bin lorry, because I think she watched that beginning part of my first video that I did, which was a week ago, because it was Bin Day. Anyway, I don't know what I was talking about. Yeah, I guess trying to go to bed earlier, but wanting to have like some social interaction. You know, it's difficult. I don't know anyone here. I don't have any friends here. I don't have anybody. You know, I'm not going to work. You know, all of that stuff. So you know, it's not like, and you know, as we have all discussed at length, it isn't always easy with people. You know, it's not easy with people. Quote unquote normal people, to get them to really understand what it is that you're going through. But yeah, I don't know. You know, maybe I can just survive on. Can you hear the birds? So lovely. Yeah, it's not easy to survive on, or maybe it is easy to survive on no food and no sleep. I don't know, people have done it in other circumstances, but yeah, it's not necessarily that much fun. These pretty little yellow flowers coming out, everything's starting to blossom now, like I told you, but I just I fear a cold snap will come and kill everything. Yeah, this walk's probably getting quite boring for you now, isn't it? You've done this one quite a lot of times. I did try to take you somewhere different today, but yeah, I couldn't cope with maybe I just need to start having a film crew, like coming on my walks with me. Maybe that's what's needed. Maybe I've missed my calling. Maybe I should be a TV presenter, but people don't really watch TV anymore, do they? You know, or like, I don't know. I've become a YouTube influencer, trying to sell people rubbish, but just by, you know, being on my walks. Maybe yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been up for a long time now, but it is a very nice day, and I am very grateful to have got outside. And you know, look, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever, 10:30. No, it must be nearly 11 now. 11:12. Like, I've already done a whole thing. I've been to a car auction and not bought a car. But yeah, I've got a lot of things to do today. I've got a meeting with my work. Obviously I've been off sick for a long time, and I've got a meeting with my work tomorrow. Obviously they want to get rid of me because I've been off sick a long time. I don't get paid, but I still have my job, but obviously they have to pay somebody else to do my job, and they still do pay certain things for me, like what's called national insurance contributions, don't really know what it means, but I think it's like, you know, I don't know what it is. It's something that's good for them to pay, but yeah, and it means that, you know, I've got the right to say, like, tomorrow I can be like, I want to come back to work, and they have to give me my job. But obviously, you know, a lot of time has passed. I'm going to walk down the road like a rebel because it's so sunny, and you know, it's a very quiet road. But yeah, I've got this meeting tomorrow, and it's like, it's supposed to be an informal meeting, but of course it's not really, because they're bringing somebody from human resources and I have to bring a union rep, and you know, that's not really an informal meeting, is it? It's quite a formal meeting, so I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how that's going to go down. And you know, the reality is like, I can't see myself having the capacity to go back to work. I didn't even like my job, but I think it's just scary. It's just like letting go of another thing, and you know, let go of so much already. You know, it's hard. It's hard to keep letting go of things and endlessly. So yeah, it just feels like letting go of my relationship. I've let go of my home. Let go of the city where I lived. I've let go of my health. I've let go of it all, really. And you know, and it's letting go of something else. Let go of my cats. But I don't know. You know, I guess I fucking hate this sentence. I hate this saying so much. It is what it is, because it's such bollocks, isn't it? It's like everything is what it is. You know, my standard answer to it is what it is normally, I'm just taking my shoes off. It's normally like, yeah, it is what it is, like genocide. You know, it's everything is what it is, but that doesn't make it good. But I guess it's like something I have relatively little control over. Look at the state of this room. This is what I'm talking about, you know? It's just a mess, and it stresses me out. But I just don't have the energy or the motivation. Anyway, I bought myself a scale to try and start tapering. But I don't think it's, look how little my tablets are. I don't think it's going to work. So that's another thing I've got to sort out. Anyway, look, here's Grogu. Hi, Grogu. That's it. I'll sort this video out later and run all my rumblings together. I hope that you have a beautiful morning and that you've all had a lovely sleep. All right, bye.